Okay, let's look at the tunics. We have three tunics we're going to look at. The first one's called the fibrous tunic, and it consists of the sclera, the outside white of the eye, and the clear transparent surface on the front, which you can see right here. The clear transparent surface is called the cornea, and here's the sclera. So those two things make up the fibrous tunic. The next tunic is the vascular tunic. Now the vascular tunic is made up of several things. First of all, you can see the blood vessels here, all the little blood vessels. Secondly, there's a pigment layer that lines the whole inside of the eye. Now you can see right here, it is covering the back of these structures, but then when you look, it changed color here, it's brown. It's underneath the retina that we'll look at in just a minute. So it's brown here, and it's black on the back of everything on the inside of the eye. That's why everybody's pupil is black. So this black layer is called the choroid coat. And it's brown right here, but it's still the choroid coat. There's some structures here. These are the ciliary processes. Now the ciliary processes, at the tips of them, they have some little white structures here, which are actually little ligaments. They're called the suspensory ligaments. And those suspensory ligaments are going to attach to a capsule around this lens. And when the ligaments pull, they stretch the lens, and when they relax, the lens forms a more biconvex shape. The combination of these ciliary processes and this muscle here, which is a sphincter muscle called the ciliary muscle, ciliary processes make up the ciliary body. Now, we're going to look at the retina, which you can see right here. It's going to be this light purple on this model, but there's a redundancy on this model. We pulled out the retina. Here it is, white here, and you can see how the retina leaves the back of the eyeball. This is the optic nerve. So I'll put it right here. You can see the optic nerve leaves the back of the eyeball. Well, at the base of the optic nerve, where they have like number 17 here, this is called the blind spot or the optic disc. And of course, there's your optic nerve, and that's an artery in the middle. Well, on the back of the eye, on the retina, there is an area mostly of cones. It has some rods, but mostly cones. It's called the Macula Lutea. It means yellow spot. And it sits on top of a little dent, which is going to be right here, which is on this model, but it's a little dent here called the fovea centralis. So that sits on top of there. But that macula lutea is where your critical vision occurs. And again, like I said, it's mostly cones. Now there are several other structures we can look at, and they're right over here. This one's the lens, which I told you is biconvex. Biconvex, it bows out on both sides, and it can be reshaped. It's very, very soft. It's like a real soft piece of real soft plastic, or rubber actually, real soft. Here is the pigmented portion of your eye called the iris. And the hole in the middle of the iris is called the pupil. So the iris is a muscle, and the hole in the middle is called the pupil, and that's what lets light into your eye. Now the back of the pupil, back of the iris is black. Everything on the inside of the eye is covered with choroid coat. So let me put this in here, and you can see the back of the iris is black, choroid. Ciliary processes are black. Here's the choroid layer here, this brown layer here. So it's real dark inside of the eye, so that when light comes through, it is absorbed into this pigment layer, and it's not reflected back, and so you don't see a glare.